Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of...
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
At Metro State University, students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs like healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of Minnesota's most diverse universities, Metro State is dedicated to providing a welcoming environment for all students. Explore 60-plus bachelor's programs at their May 29th open house in St. Paul. Learn about how free tuition is possible for eligible students through the North Star Promise Scholarship. Visit metrostate.edu/open house. Know your power. Metro State University. Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College. Your journey to success starts here.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, this is Adam. 51 is where we topped out today under cloudy skies. 43 still under cloudy skies for your low tonight. 61 under partly cloudy skies for your high tomorrow. Let Natural Lawn handle the lawn care so you can enjoy your lawn. Feeds the soil naturally with fewer unnecessary chemicals, no contracts, cancel anytime, safer products for pets, kids, and the planet. More information is available at naturallawn.com.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up. They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade, which means distant thunder. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. This portion of the show is supported by Native Roots Trading Post. You can shop now at causecart.shop and search Native Roots to find your resist gear. Pinagigi for your support.
Right on. Check it out, you guys. It's a beautiful site. And again, check out our swag there. Hey, Haley and Wendy's joining us early too. I begged her to come on. Welcome, Wendy.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Hey, so it's Monday here, and we're talking a little bit. Wendy and I didn't do anything. Well, I did some yard work Sunday, but being old, I got tired quick. And Saturday, I didn't do anything because it was so gloomy and cold.
It was gloomy and Oh, jeez, I can't even talk, and I'm on the radio. Jeez, but we watched a lot of baseball, so that's good.
Yeah.
You know, we watched the New York Mets and Yankees.
Yes.
And yeah, we watched the Twins win too.
Right. You know, it's funny, you two, Haley and Wendy, you both, when before you got on the air, could really speak well, but I feel like I'm rubbing off on you both.
It's Monday.
Yeah.
That's always my excuse, like every week.
I'm blaming it on Monday too. Thank you, Haley.
So, Haley, what did you do? Because Wendy and I did nothing.
You know, I kind of got caught in that gloomy weather as well, but I kind of like, you know, feel guilty when I don't do anything on a weekend and I'm like not productive, but then I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going to do anything because I'm being lazy with the weather. But then I'm like, oh, well, you know, I'm taking care of myself and maybe it's good to take the rest. You know, the planet takes rest, the animals rest, you know, during a storm. So why wouldn't we as people?
Yeah.
Hey, good point, because we're all about no, it's hard for me to say this, no Mo Monday, Wendy. And
No Mo
Haley.
May.
No Mo Monday.
I just want to say that butterflies rest in the rain. Butterflies rest in the rain, so they'll find shelter and they'll just rest and rejuvenate. When the sun comes out, then they fly. Yeah.
I was singing a little Elton John
their
for
wings.
you. Butterflies, freedom, fly, fly away. Fly away, bye bye. So we all didn't do anything, but we are really checking out No Mo
May.
May, yeah.
Yeah, it helps our pollinators.
Yeah. Hey, so Haley, I'm going to snatch this from you. I'm going to do the Ho Chunk word of the day, and it's a couple words, but it means Macho Hodus, which means the place of blue clay. And that's St. Paul, Minneapolis, what Ho Chunk calls St. Paul, Minneapolis. So that's Macho Hodus.
The good old Twin Cities.
Yeah. Exactly.
When they had the blue clay, is that? I feel like that's more along our rivers, probably. Where you find that?
I think so. I don't think lakes have clay, but definitely the rivers. And it's hard to say now because the rivers have so much iron in it. It's almost red clay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wendy?
Yeah,
Wendy shaking her head. Yes.
Well,
cool.
What else did I do this weekend besides not cutting my grass?
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I watched one of my best friends. She graduated. I watched her graduate, her live stream or whatever. And that was so cool. And then it just reminded me of all the other graduates that are graduating this season, and especially our native graduates. It's such a big deal. And I just want to say a big congratulations and enjoy this time and take it all in because you deserve it.
Yeah, whenever I see somebody graduating or getting any kind of thing native-wise, I always put on their website, this is a big deal. Congratulations, which it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I experienced that too, Wendy, with your support years ago.
Absolutely, Robert. You always have my support.
Yeah.
That's great.
She said that with a straight face, Haley.
I believe it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just important as like graduates, as native graduates. Well, I'm just like reflecting on my time in college, but like I was a first generation college grad. Like my parents, neither of them had the opportunity to go to college. And, you know, I feel like it's a lot of native families or native students can relate to that. So it's just kind of like, you know, changing the narrative and breaking a generational curse or whatever they call it. And, you know, making way your family.
And look where Haley is now as a graduate. She's running Native Roots Radio.
That's right. Or very important producer.
Just yapping on the radio? No.
Yapping on the radio. No, that's me. I'm the king of ums.
That's okay. You're in deep thought, you know.
Yeah.
Really thinking.
Exactly. Well, there's this is still the end of Native American Heritage Month here in Minnesota, and that goes until the end of May. There's things coming up here, and I know at the end of the month they rescheduled the parade.
Oh yeah, they did. That's on May 30th. It's going to be for
It's going to be on Friday. The parade, I think, is still going to be in the morning. I'm looking for the times right now.
Yeah, and then they're going to have the powwow again too.
Yeah, so the powwow is going to be joined with the Minneapolis American Indian Center's open house, and that's going to be from 6 to 9 p.m. on May 30th. And the American Indian Center is at 1530 Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis. Wow, 50 years of community and culture. Is this 50 years of doing the open house or 50 years of American Indian Month?
I don't think it's 50 years of American Indian Month unless, 1960. Well, yeah, it could be because 1968 was the beginning of the Aimsters American Indian movement, and Clyde Belcourt and those guys really pushed to have Native American Day and really expanded to the whole month in that process. But yeah, it definitely could be. Somebody like Robert Lilligren would know, but I don't know. My calendar is all off. When I think of 50 years, I think it's like the 1920s, but really it's 1968. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Right?
What happens when you get old?
I know.
Yes. Okay. Well, so it is at the, okay. It is 50 years of I'm reading the caption here on their post. Wow. That's awesome.
That's crazy. So I was 14 when that all went down. That's crazy. So that's 1975.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Well, doesn't Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center has their open house this week too? I'm looking that up right now.
And they're celebrating 40, which makes sense too.
40 years, I guess so.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
Well, all these leaders that really stepped it up and really got services for Native Americans and places to go for Native Americans, us urban ones here in the Twin Cities, we owe a debt of gratitude to. And there's so many good things happening when it comes to, we talk with Native American Community Clinic, Dr. Stately, talk about the urban Native urban corridor on Franklin Avenue, which, there's all these different tribal offices there. It's a thing of resistance, and also, I'm happy to be a part of that. But we also got to, give some credit where credit's due when it comes to the OGs that really set it up for us.
Yeah, those generations before us, and then our generation will set it up for those to come.
Yeah, the next 7 generations. That's how we count it. 4 back, 3 forward. That's 7 generations. And that's why I always say we're the 7th generation. But I used to kid with our students and say, "Oh, you're not the 7th generation. You're the 8th generation." They go, "Really?" And I go, "No, that's not how it is." But hey, it's Monday. We're trying to figure things out. Excited to have Wendy here. You're going to have a whole segment here coming up, and I think we'll howl early.
Yeah, let's howl.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Stay with us.
Stay with us.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
The Council on LGBTQIA2S plus Minnesotans is conducting a community needs survey. Two-spirit and Native queer voices are sacred and must be heard. Your experiences will guide programs and policies that support our relatives across Minnesota. The survey is confidential and available at mnqt.info/survey. The deadline is May 31st. Honor your story. Help build the future we deserve.
Anine, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts. How?
No! Did you see that, Wendy? I went, no!
Yeah, I love that. Right, no to the hunt.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hey, really, we're going to move forward here, our sacred animal portion of the show. Later on, we have Jaida, who's a Ho-Chunk MMA fighter, Haley. That's going to be on next.
Yeah, super excited to talk to Jaida. Jaida Harshman is out of Wisconsin, and she's represented on Team USA, and MMA fighting is now in the Olympics too. So I'm excited to talk to her about it.
Exactly. And so I want a good old school on you, Wendy, and I want to introduce my awesome and beautiful wife, Wendy Pilot. Wendy Pilot's been a animal advocate for many, many, many years, and she is a co-founder of Native Roots Radio. And you I speak of our relatives with hooves and little ears and tails, and what else? They have a lot of fun.
I think you said it all. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. And I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I am a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, which is formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States. Yeah. So we work on animal issues at the state and local level. So
wow,
it's
you
really
said that
exciting.
really smooth.
So I've been following this website. It's called selftrue.journey. Selftrue.journey. And there's this guy. I don't know if it's an AI voice or not, or if it's a real person who talks. So I'm going to play their video. But what he does is he talks about dogs. Yeah, and I really love this. And on this one, he's going to talk about what they never tell you about rescue dogs and his experience about rescuing a dog. So I'm going to play it right now, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it, and I won't have any technical difficulties. So here we go.
They warned me she'd come with baggage. What they didn't tell me was that she'd unpack it slowly, piece by piece, teaching me about resilience with every trembling step toward trust. The first time she wagged her tail took 2 weeks. The first time she played with a toy, a month. The day she finally fell asleep on her back, belly exposed to the world she once feared, I sat on the floor and wept because I understood what it meant. She flinches at sudden movements, yet still chooses to come closer. She was abandoned, yet somehow decided humans deserved another chance. She spent months in a concrete kennel, yet still remembers how to find joy in a fallen leaf dancing in the wind. There's a look rescue dogs get in their eyes, a moment of sudden clarity when they realize this home is forever. It usually happens on some random Tuesday, nothing special. For her, it was during a thunderstorm when she realized I wouldn't leave her alone to face what terrified her. Scientists have discovered that dogs released from shelters experience a profound neurological change within months of finding a stable home. Their stress hormones normalize. Their immune systems strengthen. Their brains literally rewire themselves to feel safe again. We think we rescue them, but in their silent resilience, they show us that hearts are not broken by pain. They're broken open. That forgiveness isn't something you think about. It's something you practice daily. that the past doesn't have to define the future. When people ask why I chose a dog with issues instead of a puppy, they miss the point entirely. I didn't want perfect. I wanted her, with all her scars, all her fears, all her hard-won wisdom about a world that wasn't always kind, but still somehow deserved her love anyway. They say rescued dogs love differently. It's not that they love more, it's that they love despite knowing exactly what humans are capable of, despite having every reason not to. And in that choice lies everything I aspire to be. They warn.
So that's it's a little video too. You could watch it, and it's beautifully illustrated. Again, it's selftrue.journey. He has a lot of these different videos, and they're all about dogs, and about their rescue, and all about all different kinds of things. But that one really like hit me when I watched it and I listened to it. It really got me like teary-eyed because we have rescue dogs and we've experienced some of the things that he's talking about. I'm sure you have too, Haley, because your dog's a rescue also.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely related to that. And yeah, I was just like, I don't know, I'd probably cry at all those videos if I was watching them.
Yeah,
I'm crying right
but
now.
they're
Thank you,
really,
Wendy.
but they're really no, but they're really good. And it's just like it help. I don't know. I think that people who watch this are more inclined of saying, okay, let me get a dog that has a little bit of problems and maybe just have some patience. They always say that when you bring a dog into the home, they don't know anything. It's brand new to them, right? So it takes them weeks and weeks to really get comfortable and to really feel good. I know when we got Wanda and Gracie and Emma, we got 3 dogs at the same time.
Yeah.
They didn't know that we were their people, so we would let them out in the backyard to go potty and they'd go hide under a bush, they wouldn't come when we called them because they were like, who are these strangers? They didn't know. And it took them quite a while to realize like, okay, it's safe here. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be fed. We're going to go on a walk. I can have a nice soft bed with toys. And, and then finally, I don't remember the days that it happened, but when I called them, they came to me.
Yeah.
Right, Robert? They came to us when we called them. So it's just, yes, you could get puppies, you could get a puppy and you could, train it from the beginning, but not all puppies turn out the way you want them either, but I just love this guy. And you know what? It's so funny because I wasn't going to play the audio of this. And I sat there and I wrote it out and I was going to read what he said. And I was just like, I can't do that. My voice isn't, so calming and nice. And
I would have started crying.
I know, but it's
so
really
true.
nice. There's a couple of them, and I will play them every now and then because I think that it's important. Yes, Haley.
It is important. It is very important. I would just encourage people to adopt if they have the opportunity to. It's so different. Like I've had puppies. I've gotten a puppy, growing up, not from a shelter. And then the dog that I've had for the past almost 10 years, we've got from the shelter. And just the way that she is towards us is so different being a shelter dog. And like, I remember even when we got her, we changed her name. She was still, I think like over a year old, barely when we got her. So we did change her name and it took her a while to like answer to it. But
what name did she
loves
come
it.
with? Do you remember which name she?
It was like Lulu or something, but it really didn't fit her. Like we all thought Sadie fit her better.
And her name is Sadie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember when we brought her home, and for the longest time, she wouldn't jump on any furniture. She wouldn't come up on the beds or the couch. And we'd be like, Sadie, come on, try to get her to come up. And for the longest time, she just wouldn't. So I think the previous owners didn't allow her on top of furniture like that. But she did come around to coming on the furniture, and she's very spoiled now. So
well, we adopted cats too. That were shelter cats, and I remember rolling up a paper and the cat just running
Oh, you have the newspaper, right? So
right, a
you rolled
newspaper.
up the newspaper, and she saw you do that, and she ran. And
So that
right,
made us
so
think.
Robert and I were like, "Oh my God, she must have gotten hit with a newspaper in the past, something," because she
Yeah.
really like ran for the hills when you
Yeah.
picked up the newspaper and rolled it up. So you never know what they went through before, but they do
Haley's dog
learn.
couldn't come on the bed.
Yeah.
We have ramps going up to our bed.
We have a ramp going up to our couch. I don't know. A
And
lot
our
of people
bed.
are like that. They don't want their dogs on the furniture or the bed. I just feel like you're
Yeah.
sharing your existence with this little being who is your family member, becomes your family member. I don't know. I want them to be on the couch with me, right? I
I'm
don't
the same
Haley's
way.
as big as a person. Isn't
Yeah,
your
My
Haley
dog
is
is
like-
huge, but she's still welcome. I get it too. People are like, "Oh, my dog's an outdoor dog, or they're a hunting dog, or they go in the lake." Well, bathe your dog. Like, you should be cleaning your dog if they're outdoors. They don't want to get ticks and whatnot. But
Mhm.
also, you
Wendy
should
cleans our
dogs should
dog.
be indoors, not only outdoor dogs.
Oh, our
Yeah.
dog loves, and so did our other dogs, love the shelter dogs love going for a walk, Wendy.
Yeah, they all love to go on walks. And Wanda usually she did today on her long, we went for a really long walk today. Found a couple of things that she sniffs in the grass, and she rolls around in the grass, and I have no idea what it is. It could be like rabbit urine, or I don't know. It's probably something stinky and nasty that she's
Wolf urine.
rolling around. But I read an article once about how it's important for your dog to do that and sniff and roll around in things, and it releases all these good chemicals and serotonin and oxytocin and dopamine, and that all these good hormones for them. So anyway, that reminds me I have to get the wipes that I use and put them in the microwave and give her a nice little warm wipey bath.
Yeah.
Whenever
clean your pets.
Yes.
Whenever I see animal pass in a family, I always put a heart and say family, because
Mhm.
that's what they are. They're
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks, Wendy. That was heavy duty for a Monday.
Sure.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Stay with us.
Hi, Penny here from Nightingale in Minneapolis. Exciting news. During the warmer months, we're extending our charm to the patio. Imagine savoring your favorite dishes outside, surrounded by the lively energy of South Minneapolis near 26th and Lindale. And guess what? Nightingale's patio is not just a dining space, it's also dog-friendly. Craft cocktails, curated wines, and half-price bottles of wine on Mondays are still part of the deal. Open daily 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. with a full menu until midnight. Join us at Nightingale, where good times and great flavors come together.
The Stronger Together Pride Benefit Concert and Dance Party is coming to the Granada Theater in Uptown on Thursday, May 30th, and it's one night with a whole lot of heart. Hosted by Nina D'Angelo, this 21-plus event features live music from Ryan Cabrera and a high-energy dance floor driven by DJ Shannon Blowtorch. It's an incredible celebration, but it's also a fundraiser with a whole lot of impact. This year, Twin Cities Pride is facing a $200,000 funding gap after losing major sponsors. This event is a powerful way for the community, supporters, allies, and everyone who believes in Pride to step up and help close the gap. There are multiple ticket options available, from general admission to premium experiences. So however you show up, you're making a difference. Presented with support from the Car Guy Concierge. Find tickets and event info at tcpride.org. That's tcpride.org. Celebrate, support, and help power what comes next, because we are stronger together.
Hi there, it's Jennifer again. I just have to tell you how Hypercharge Wellness has been life-changing for me. After my very first session, I felt a new sense of calm, started sleeping better, and my mind just felt clearer. I still can't fully explain all the science behind it, but I have heard that it's also great for people with chronic conditions, and I can totally see why. Every visit, my lower back pain eases, and I just feel so much better overall. I really noticed when I missed a few sessions recently due to a busy schedule. I could definitely feel the difference, and I knew I had to get back on track. If you're dealing with fatigue, pain, or even chronic issues, you owe it to yourself to give it a try. They even offer a $49.99 introductory session and consultation. Call and get started at any of their 3 metro locations. Check out hyperchargeclinic.com and tell them Jennifer from AM 950 sent you. That's hyperchargeclinic.com.
We asked kids what it took to be a dad. This is what they had to say.
A father is always present. I mean, what real father figure can you have if they're not there?
In order to be a good dad, you need to love your son. You need to put gas in your car so you don't break down in the middle of nowhere. And you need to make them breakfast. Yep.
I mean, just to maybe play like a board game with me, or to just stay home and play some video games with me. Just to do like that one little thing is what I really look forward to.
I'm not asking him to be a perfect dad, but he should try.
He's just a constant force in my life.
There's no other type of love like a dad's love because it's not comparable to anything else.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
With your AM 950 forecast, this is Adam. 44 tonight for your overnight low, and it's going to be cloudy and it's going to be rainy. For tomorrow, a chance of rain as well, and you're looking at a high around 47. Let Natural Lawn handle your lawn care so you can enjoy your lawn. Organic-based, environmentally friendly lawn care for over 30 years. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. More at naturallawn.com.
You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hey, yes, they do. Hey, Haley, really excited. You know, we have another all Ho-Chunk segment here, and this is awesome. So we have our new friend, Jaida Harshman, who's an MMA fighter out of Wisconsin, and who is also Ho-Chunk. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be able to speak and tell my story today.
We're excited too, and really thanks so much for coming on. And you know, if you want, you can introduce yourself in a good way. Ho-wah.
Yeah, my Ho-Chunk name is Hinchkaninga, means white fur. I'm daughter of Kessa Green Deer and Matthew Harshman. Yeah, I'm just really excited to be able to talk about this today.
Excellent. Hey, so not get too personal, but we are going to get personal here. What is your age, and when did you find out that you wanted to be an MMA fighter?
So I'm 20 years old. I started when I was 18 years old, right after high school. I wanted to be an MMA fighter. I found that out after winning Freestyle State and qualifying for national Fargo Nationals for wrestling. I went to this MMA gym to just get really good at wrestling and staying in good shape, and I found out there were some boxing classes and jiu-jitsu classes, so I kind of dove in, started doing some of those classes, and then started my MMA career a couple months in and did my first fight. So it was really cool.
That is cool. So we have our friend Sharice Davids, who was was she an MMA fighter? Do you know who I'm talking about?
But she sounds very familiar.
She is a Ho-Chunk who's a representative out of Kansas, and I do believe she did MMA fighting too for a while before she became one of our up and coming politicians in the United States.
That's really awesome. Yeah. I know her name vividly, but I don't remember like exactly when she fought.
Cool. So do you have siblings that you would fight with when you were growing up and kick some butt, or how does that work? Are you the oldest or the youngest or the middle?
I'm in the middle. So I have an older brother, a little brother, and then a little sister. And so growing up most of my life with brothers, we were roughing each other up. We'd wrestle each other, play football in the yard. Yeah, we get in fights a lot, but it was always friendly, and yeah, they made me tougher.
So just to back up a step here. So you wrestled in high school? Is that what I hear?
Yes, yep. I wrestled since 8th grade. That's always been my base, and I just absolutely loved it. Didn't have really girls teams when I started up and coming, so I wrestled on the boys teams. I qualified for boys varsity, and I was the 127 spot. I was the first girl out of Holman to wrestle at team state, so that was a really cool opportunity as well. So.
Wow, that's awesome. So,
Wow.
so who are were you going to jump in there, Haley?
Oh, I just didn't. So you started your professional career like 2 years ago, very recently. Do you have to
Yeah,
be
so
18?
no, for amateur fighting, yes, but there are pancration fighting as well, which is under 18. Amateurs, pancration can also do MMA fighting. It's just no head strikes. So it's another
Oh.
thing too. So we have ages 12 to 17 doing pancration fighting, and then there are the amateurs that you can stay amateur as long as you'd like, and then you can turn pro. So right now I'm an amateur. I'm a 7-0-1 amateur right now, and
Yeah.
then making. I actually have a boxing fight this Saturday, so I'll be fighting this Saturday, and then prepare for Brazil right after that. So.
Wow. So do you wear headgear when you box, or is it a knuckle to head?
So I will be wearing headgear for this one for USA Boxing. They require that for amateurs.
Mhm.
Now if I was pro, then I wouldn't have to wear headgear. So.
Cool. So who are your trainers and biggest supporters?
So my supporter and this person I always depend on is not only my coach but my boyfriend Nick Johnson. He's just always inspired me to be my best and push me to the limits, and he's in my corner for life. So it's been truly amazing to be able to grow together not only in the sport but at the gym, and so he's one of my number one like supporters and inspirations there.
Cool. Well, when
Yeah.
I was young too, I was twisted steel and full of sex appeal, but now I'm old, so we won't even talk about that. Hey, how do you work up to through the ranks of MMA fighting?
So working through the ranks, you got to take on some tough competition. So each fight, you just kind of level up and try to push yourself. So in amateur fighting, you want to get as much experience as possible. So that's why I'm also doing a boxing fight, so I can get
Hmm.
that experience and understand that level of striking, as well as when I do these MMA fights, like starting out maybe 3-4-0, and then asking for a title shot, taking that title shot. So that's what I did. I was 3-0. I took a title shot when I was 4-0, became 5-0, and then I
Yeah.
also had a title defense this last April and won that as well. So.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
how do you prepare? You talked a little bit how you prepare for a fight, but is it, I'm an old man and I was like 15 when the first Rocky came out, and I saw how he was training. How do you train?
So a typical training day for me would start at 5 a.m. I get my workout in. Right before work, I work a 9 hour, 8 hour, 9 hour day. And then after that, I would go do my classes. So my classes for technique would be an hour or two long, and then do my one-on-ones with my coaches as well. So it kind of depends on what part of the fight camp it would be. So if it's like earlier in the fight camp, each fight camp is about like 8 weeks long, where we start training, getting in shape, and getting our uh, cardio up. And then if we're a little bit closer, like 6 to 4 weeks out, then we start honing in. Okay, this is how our opponent fights. This is what we need to focus on. So if they're a wrestler, we need to focus on wrestling defense and staying on our feet. They're more of a striker. Okay, we're going to focus on setting up our takedown. So just depends on who you're fighting as well.
Who are some of your I know you mentioned your boyfriend, but who else is some of your idols that you look up to that have MMA experience?
So, Shay Bauer, she fights out of Sioux Falls. She's one of the people that I like to ask questions about fighting, and she's the LFA champ at 125. So she's just somebody that I can talk to about preparing for fights or training with her. Somebody else that I could like to talk to is Zoe Nowicki. She's also my teammate for Team USA for Gammas. She fights out of Michigan. She's another 125er. But they've been in the game for a little bit longer. They're both professional fighters and people that I like to talk to and look up to as well.
Well, you introduced yourself by your name, and we all walk around in our colonized name, but you have a beautiful name. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how that came about?
So I got named pretty recently when I turned 18. We had our naming ceremony, and it's Hinshkaninga. It's pronounced that way. It means white fur. So the meaning behind it is, um, so white fur, part of the deer clan. There was a
Mhm.
recent sighting of albino deer that they had seen, the elders had seen, and they seen me, and they're like, this is her. So I thought it was pretty cool. It's you don't get to see those very often, so that was awesome.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
sacred, and it was more than one that they had seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they seen a little group. It was about 5 of them. So
Very rare. I've only seen one of those in my life, so it's a beautiful name.
thank you.
Yeah, it really is. And Haley, you have a beautiful name too.
I do. It is Chasha Pewangoe Nink, and it's Little Eagle Princess. And a little bit of story behind that. I was named by my Dega Nathaniel McKee and his wife Verna at the time, but I'm the only granddaughter, niece, and daughter in my family. So raised with all boys, brothers, boy cousins, and so I was the only girl. So everyone kind of catered to me like the Little Eagle Princess, and
Yeah.
that's how I got that name.
That's awesome. I love that. That's
Yeah.
really
And,
cute.
and
Thank
mine's Wakunja Hade, which means distant thunder. So
Yeah.
that's a cool name. That'd be a cool MMA
cool.
fighting name. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any like walkout songs? Do they still do that? Do you guys get hyped for
Yeah.
fights and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I like to mix it up. I did do Thunderstruck because my fight nickname is the Storm. So the story behind that is, so when a storm comes, cows they like to they shy away. They try to run away from the storm and they just get caught in it. So when buffalo go into the storm, they go right through it. They attack it. Just like life. There's storms, there's adversities. So when I'm fighting, I always think of I'm the storm. I bring the chaos and you have to deal with me. So yeah,
Ooh.
that's kind of the story behind that name. But
I got goosebumps, and
That's
it's
awesome.
storming right now as we're talking, which is
Right.
yeah, the storm coming.
Yeah.
yeah.
I got a little scared when you were I didn't get goosebumps. I got a little frightened. But that's the whole idea behind it. It's yeah, that's a great story, and we all know that as natives is that's how the bison and the buffalo they go towards the storm for sure, and that's very sacred and very cool. So we got about a minute and a half here. So how many fights a year would you be? And that, I guess that would be including boxing and stuff. But how many do you do a year roughly?
So as an amateur, I've fought quite a bit. I guess I fight every September, April, and then I take some other fights in between. So I could be fighting potentially, I'd say like 4 or 5 times a year. That doesn't include gammas. Gammas, I had 2 fights, so that's 7 times. And then I'll be fighting again in June. So, and with June, I'm doing 2 different divisions. I'll do the under 21 division and the senior division, which means I could fight 2 times a day. And
What?
that's 10 days. Yeah, it's intense. It's
Gee.
awesome. But yes,
It's awesome. She
amateurs
says.
fight a lot if they want to get the most experience. When you turn pro, you only fight maybe 2 times a year. So
Oh wow. That's a
Jeez.
big difference.
for
Well,
sure.
you got a big upcoming fight coming up that we want to talk about, a national fight, and to talk about your future here. And this is really, I'm so glad that you were able to get on our show because this is really awesome. We're with Jaida Harshman, MMA fighter out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. And you guys, we're listening to Native Roots Radio. We'll be right back after this short break, Haley.
Stay with us.
Yeah.
At Metro State University, students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs like healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of Minnesota's most diverse universities, Metro State is dedicated to providing a welcoming environment for all students. Explore 60-plus bachelor's programs at their May 29th open house in St. Paul. Learn about how free tuition is possible for eligible students through the North Star Promise Scholarship. Visit metrostate.edu/open house. Know your power. Metro State University.
The Council on LGBTQIA2S plus Minnesotans is conducting a community needs survey. Two-spirit and Native queer voices are sacred and must be heard. Your experiences will guide programs and policies that support our relatives across Minnesota. The survey is confidential and available at mnqt.info/survey. The deadline is May 31st. Honor your story, help build the future we deserve.
I'll never forget. I was driving my Sienna from Rudy Luther Toyota and I was hit at 35 miles an hour, rear-ended square flush. If not for the structural integrity of my Sienna, I wouldn't be here right now. There's a lot I can say about Rudy Luther Toyota, about their fantastic service department and their great selection, but being able to say your car saved my life is the best endorsement I can make. Toyotas from Rudy Luther Toyota are my highest recommendation. Get one today and tell them me, Matt McNeil, told you to stop on in. Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts. How?
Oh! Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hey, we're with Jaida Harshman, an MMA fighter out of Wisconsin, and our Ho-Chunk relative here. And we are just opening up the pages here a little bit of what's going on here. We want to talk a little bit about what's coming up next for you. You're going to be going out of the country and doing some things. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I'll be fighting at the Gamma World Tournament or Championship, I should say. It'll be in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It'll be June 16th through the 22nd, so I'll have a whole week of competing, and I'm also competing in two divisions, so the under 21 and then the senior division as well. So professionals and amateurs from many countries. Last year there were 70 plus countries competing at this tournament for MMA, and so I'm just pretty excited to be able to compete at this world tournament again.
Wow, that's awesome. We'll have to have you back on and share your experience with that. That's crazy. That's we're with a superstar here, Haley.
We really are. Team USA. Jaida, you were talking, well, I guess we were talking behind the scenes here that MMA has been added to the Olympics now.
Yeah, it's super exciting. So in 2028, you'll see that the Olympics is adding MMA. They'll be having qualified tournaments to be able to send representatives from each country to compete at this next one. So that would be really cool. I probably won't be competing at this next one since I'll be a turning professional, and when you're a pro, it's harder to get into those tournaments, and also you're not getting paid to go and do it, and you're taking that risk anyway. So it's probably going to be mostly pancreation fighters, which are youth fighters 12 through 17 years old, and then they'll have amateur fighters at that as well.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. What is some of the most important things to do and know in a fight? And I know being an old street brawler, it's it's a lot different. You look for a chair or something to hit him with, but you are going like legs and arms and body.
Yeah, so it honestly depends on who you're fighting. So if they're a jujitsu person, you better have a good base of, basic jujitsu and understanding where you need to be at if you do get taken down. Otherwise, stay on the feet. If you're dealing with a striker, you might as well just take them to the ground where they're not comfortable. So honestly, it just kind of depends. You want to be pretty well rounded. So that's why when you're amateur, you want to get the most experience as possible, fight everybody with, specific arts that they're specialized in, and then just see how well you do, see what you need to work on. So
So we kind of know because we've been creeping on your stuff, but let people know how they can see past fights if they're on YouTube or your Facebook page, or let our listeners know how they can really watch and support you.
Yeah, so actually, so this Saturday I'll be making my amateur boxing debut. You can find that on Spectation Sports. You can watch that live. Otherwise, they will be posting it on YouTube. A lot of my fights are posted on YouTube. I fight primarily on the Three River Throwdown. That's our local promotion that actually Nick runs. So you can find that on YouTube. Look up Three River Throwdown and Jaida Harshman. And then Brazil, you'll be able to find the Gamma World Tournament on YouTube as well. My previous one that I fought in December from Indonesia, you can find my previous fights on there as well. So
Wow, that's awesome. Haley, do
yeah.
you have any questions? This is just a pretty awesome interview we got
Oh,
going on here.
I know. I was so excited to talk to Jada. I was watching one of her fights yesterday on YouTube, and well, actually, a couple fights, and I noticed that she walks out with the Ho Chunk flag, Ho Chunk Nation flag behind her. And I guess a question for you, Jada, like, do you feel your ancestors behind you? Like, do you prepare spiritually before you go into these fights at all?
I do, yes. I carry actually I do smudging right before and I pray to the ancestors. Um Typically I do that at home and then just pray for them when they protect me when I was in Indonesia. Same thing, I will do the same thing before I go to Brazil as well, but when I carry that flag, I carry my people with me and my ancestors with me, so I have that strength just knowing that they're with me. So
Yeah.
Wow, great question, Haley.
Thank you, Pinagigi.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Jada this too, kind of a little bit change in subject here, but what was like was there ever a fight where you were like down bad and you were like really hurt? What were you thinking? Like where do you draw your motivation from to kind of regain your strength in that moment?
So actually, I remember vividly my second fight. I was knocked out on the feet. I saw white, couldn't see anything else, but I went back to my base where I know that I could feel. So I used my other senses. Like it kind of slowed down for a second. So I'm like, okay, I can't see her, but I can feel her. So I went and wrestled. I ended up finishing that round and I was fine right after that. But kind of like my reasons why that I fight is, for not only for myself, like my younger self that, would absolutely freak out if she saw myself right now, but also like the kids that I coach, the people that I train, they are the future and they look up to me. They ask me for questions. They ask me for advice. My teammates, the my people. That's my reason why.
Oh, great answer.
Yeah, really. This is awe-inspiring, and um, wow, Haley and Jada, this has just been an honor to have you on here again. So, do you have a Facebook that people can see some stills and see who you are and things like that?
Yep. My Facebook is Hinchkaninga Jaida Harshman. You can also follow me on Instagram too. It's the storm underscore Harshman. And then I do have TikTok too. I don't post very much on TikTok, but definitely will be posting a little bit more reels and stuff too. But that's Ironworks Jada. So yeah.
Well, it's interesting that you said what you said. What is something that you could tell the younger you about your journey and other people? That's real interesting that you brought that up. That we always compliment our native relatives that are doing things that, as a former teacher, it's great for our young kids to see somebody that looks like them do these things.
What I guess what I would just tell myself is like always believe in yourself, trust yourself, like trust your instincts, do the best that you can. Always try and learn new things, experience as much as you can and just be a good person. You always want to be treating other people the way you want to be treated and be respectful and um yeah.
Wow, that's great. Haley, we only got like a minute and a half here. Uh, this has just been a great interview and just awesome, Jada, that we're able to
Yeah.
spend this time with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The opportunity to be able to speak too.
Do you have any fights coming up like locally? Do you ever fight in Wisconsin and around? Do you ever make it to Minnesota?
Yeah, I actually fought in Shakopee last June on my birthday. That was super.
Oh.
I fought at Ignite Fights. I believe that was my third or fourth fight. Fourth fight, I believe. And then yeah, I usually fight on the 3 River Throwdown. That one takes place at the Onalaska Omni Center. Is April and September when we have shows. So when I make my pro debut, it'll be September 13th.
So when is your birthday?
June 29th.
Oh, you're not a Gemini. You just missed it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh, easy there, Haley. I'm a Gemini. My birthday's coming up, so we've been talking about it for the last month here on Native Roots Radio.
We sure. Yeah. Well, Jaida, do you ever make it to the Ho Chunk Powwows, Memorial or Labor Day?
I do try to, yes. I have a couple relatives that do competition dancing and being able to be there with my family too. Yeah.
Awesome. We hope to run into you sometime soon in person here.
Yeah. Big Peeny Gigi, thank you so much for being on. This is Jaida Harshman, MMA fighter out of Wisconsin and a Ho Chunk. Hoa. Thank you, Big Peeny Gigi, for being on.
Thank you. Pina Gigi.
Right on. Hey, we'll be right. Well, no, we won't be right back. If you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
The city of Minneapolis